Good day and welcome to Rocket with Chief, conversations to take you places. My name is Daniel Robus. If you don't know, I'm your host. And today I'm joined by Madelein Hendricks. Many jobs make light work. Madelein, your website is full. You have so much on the go. It's a real pleasure to have you on our show. For our audience to meet you, where should I start? You're a recruitment specialist, you're a headhunter, a brand influencer, a TV personality, a serial entrepreneur, podcaster, marketing specialist, MC, speaker, facilitator. What the hell, man? Living in full color. What does that mean, Madelein?
Hi, Daniel. Thank you so much for having me a part of your platform today. I'm really excited to be here. When you highlight all of those things, it sounds quite hectic, but essentially I am just the kind of person that sees opportunity everywhere. I want to be involved. I believe that our world is changing, and if we want to stay ahead of the game, we have to just adapt ourselves to where we need to be in order to be productive and successful.
That's awesome. Madelein, what is living in full color? Why that?
So living in full color for me means that I truly believe that we are here for a purpose, and that purpose wears many hats. So I've been lucky enough to do a lot of things, but it all is essentially down to working with people, understanding people, and really just my love for people and wanting them to succeed and evolve and be happy in their careers and be happy in their lives and just to be authentic. So living life in full color for me is that I get to do everything that I set my heart to do. I am driven, I'm passionate, and I just want my life to be full.
Stunning. You obviously don't struggle with wearing multiple hats. And the golden thread holding it together seems to be people. Why did people hook you in the beginning?
It's quite strange. I didn't think I was ever going to be in HR. A little fun fact is I am uneducated on the educational front of things. When I was young and I needed to study stuff, I tried many things. I started in hospitality, absolutely loved being a waiter. I did that from the age of 15, loved it so much. And I then thought, okay, so hospitality is probably what I want to do. And then I realized that we work way too hard for other people to make a lot of money. So I shifted over to psychology. I think I did 1 year of psychology and then realized that I was just making myself crazy. And then I sort of just entered the job world and I wanted to see where I was going to fit in and pretty much just winged my way through HR. I mean, we are just fortunate to be in a digital age. So whatever answers I needed, I just Googled it. And
so you work hard.
Yeah, very hard. And before I knew it, I was an HR manager, and I was fortunate to work for a family-owned business where I learned a lot about business values and what it takes and what hard work means. And then I just decided, no, I want to have my own business. I want to work with small businesses so that I can help them with the fundamental things about HR that they actually genuinely don't know.
Wow.
And very quickly, HR shifted into recruitment, which became the number one thing that I wanted to do. So my agency just went from HR to full on recruitment. And there is where I found my happy place.
That's awesome.
I found it just so incredible that, you phone somebody today and you are just a part of a prayer or a part of a journey that they never expected that this was going to happen to them today. And that's what I just loved about recruitment so much is watching people find jobs who were unemployed for a long time, or somebody that, really wants to climb the career ladder. And, I'm a part of that journey. And yeah, that's what I love about it right
Before
now.
we dive into serious stuff, where is your favorite holiday destination and who do you take with you?
Okay, so it has to be the Kruger. I absolutely love the bush, everything about the bush. I love it so much. And my kids, without a doubt, my little boy is 5 years old and he is convinced he's going to be a game ranger one day.
Awesome.
So for him, it's just the best thing to drive and spot and look for animals and take pictures. And,
Awesome. So for our audience members who are not from South Africa, Kruger Park is one of the next places you should have on your destination list. It is magical. It's mythical. It's enormous. And you can have loads and loads of fun. And best of all, you can't do any walking because you get eaten by stuff. You get eaten by stuff. So with your high touch style, and your website talks about it a lot, you in people's lives and you're changing lives. Do you find collaboration tools help or hinder you in your work?
No, I do believe that it helps. I think that we are from a digital age and we need to collaborate where we can and network where we can. So yeah, I definitely think that we need to be more open to the tools that are available for us out there.
Do you not think that detracts from this personalized side? Do you find it easy to create digital relationships?
I think that there is still a big gap when it comes to these kinds of platforms, but I do believe that these platforms are helpful, especially from a recruitment space. I find that these platforms are being created with the more human element in mind in this day and age, which is a lot further along from where we have been. So, yeah, I think we need to have faith.
You speak about faith and you speak about it as part of your life. Do you think there's place for love in our corporate world today?
Absolutely. I think post-COVID or during COVID, I feel that the corporate environment has become a lot more focused on the wellness of their people. And they really have started looking at all of the elements about the people perspective, which is a very big positive change that I can associate, especially to where we have been and where we are now. So there's a lot of love in the corporate. There's a lot more, where companies are really looking at how they can look after their employees better, not necessarily at the work front, but also when they look at the different benefits that they are offering their employees now. So from the perspective of a remuneration, where you would get your basics like a medical aid and, provident fund, they've now really looked at including things that are more in line with the wellness of their employees. So I've seen companies that are adding life coaching onto their, their employee benefits as well. Exercising, healthy eating, really like trying to motivate them to live a healthy, balanced lifestyle. So absolutely so much love in the corporate space.
Sure. That's so positive. I really like that. What do you think the three biggest challenges are being faced by corporates with regards to talents and skills, retention and development today?
I think that the workforce is still very much driven by money. I think that one of the biggest challenges that the corporates are facing is that we can't always increase the salaries as we would like to evaluate that to an equality of what the inflation rates are going at. So although the standard, let's say, increase rate in our country is 5%, we've already looked at how food and petrol and those things are fluctuating close to 17 to 25%. So I think this is a really hard struggle for corporates, is to stay on par with really seeing how employees can move forward in life. Because actually we're moving backwards because, we're not getting the right increases in salary.
Sure.
Also, what a really big struggle is that with remote working now, a lot of the international companies are are really taking advantage of the talent that South Africa has within our country. So you can now work remotely for companies across the world where South Africa really needs that talent. And it's really hard for our local companies to give them the same kind of benefits and salaries that they are earning if they are earning in pounds and dollars, but also the remote work opportunities. So I do feel that there's a really big gap that corporates are struggling with that in terms of just retaining the talent that we have in our country, because it's so easy now to work for companies abroad. The third challenge, the third challenge I would say is skills development. I think that companies are finding it hard to keep employees motivated and to develop skills that employees really want to do. I think everybody's turning their pennies around 2 or 3 times now. So although our country is motivating us to do skills development through our theatres, there still really isn't money for that. I think the money is still better spent elsewhere. So I think the skills development has taken a back foot, which can be demotivating for employees.
Sure. I get that. And those 3 resonate with me quite a lot. I'm going to turn the table completely and say, we've got these vacancies that are out there, but people shoot themselves in the foot, often when they're going in and looking for that job. What's the common mistake you see being made by job seekers again and again and again? And I'm talking middle to upper class, middle to upper management jobs.
Yeah. So I think that the biggest mistake that sort of level is making is that they are making moves horizontally. So, for instance, they would jump from, if they are in a current position as a creditors controller, for example, they would move to another creditors controller position because the salary might be, say, 1,000 Rand more. But instead of jumping up the career ladder and really looking for positions that is the next level in terms of, growth, they really are making the mistake to jump horizontally.
Sure. That's very interesting. I like that. Okay. Are you seeing HR having more of a say in the management and leadership of companies?
Not yet. I think that there still needs to be more space for HR when it comes to the boardroom, to the strategic side of things. Look, I'm not talking for all organizations, but I think in the smaller to middle level, HR is there for crisis control. So they just need to adapt and, fix the problems. But I don't think that they are yet privy to being a part of the strategic approach and really understanding the decisions that they are making at that top level. How is this influencing our people? And how can we really manage this better so that we can have a better result? So yes, I would still like to see us HR representatives being more in the decision making instead of just the crisis control.
And maybe that's where we have to hold the mirror up to ourselves as HR leaders, is whether or not we actually are in the core business. And if we took a poll of top 100 companies in South Africa, how many of the heads, the CEOs, are actually from an HR background? I think it's pretty shocking myself. So it was a planned question so that we could agree that we're not doing great.
No, we are not doing great. I think it's just because, CEOs and managing directors, they are so focused on operations and finance that they need to make money. I mean, that's the aim of the game. If you have a business, it's about making money. And it's so easy to forget that without people, you don't have an organization. You don't have a business. But the mentality at the top is still, you get paid to do a job. That's why you are here. We don't really care about how you feel doing the job. You get paid to do a job. So very, very big gap still that needs to be.
And HR needs to be making money as well. I mean, you can't just have long hair, ponytails and parties. We got to be making sure that our resources are effectively allocated. So maybe HR needs to be stepping into the operational side more and understand how we're making money.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. That's the very first place that we can start, is for the HR mind to shift to become also more operational.
Sure. Now, you don't only run HR, you don't only do recruitment and placements, you also run a marketing and design studio, Madness Design Studio. How the hell do you go from HR to my, what happened there? Did you just like wake up and decide I'm getting a tattoo and I'm going to design studio?
So two reasons. One is I've had to design websites through marketing agencies, and I really felt that they didn't understand my vision. So from a creative element and a business element, it's not the same. So people who are creators doesn't always really understand the business perspective of things. And what is the objective of having a website? What do we want from this website? So I found that very, very difficult. So because I couldn't find an agency to work with, I used to just learn how to do these things myself. And then as COVID came along, the recruitment side was just dead. I mean, nobody was hiring. People were losing their jobs left, right, and center. So I needed to find a way to think outside the box to generate an income. And as an entrepreneur, I just said, well, everything is going online. Everything is digital. Let's go social. Let's understand how to get companies online. There were so many new businesses that was developed during COVID. Wow. So it was lovely to put them on a digital platform. So there I am.
You don't step back very often, do you? You see a problem and then you go and fix it. You don't call for help here. You know, so if you were a princess, you would be carrying the sword and shield. You wouldn't be waiting for some prince to sweep you off the feet.
No, but I'll also be the queen, though.
Okay, she is the queen. We take. Well, I'm still hoping to interview a queen of a different nature on this show. It'll be amazing. We'll have one, and then we can talk around where does the empire end. When we're talking about online and we're talking about changing worlds and all that, do you think an online reputation is overrated? You said you're an influencer on yours. Like, what is that?
No, so it's definitely not overrated. I think that the digital age is here to stay, and it's just going to evolve and become more and more and more influential. So if there's anybody that still believes that being on an online digital platform is a waste of time, it's not. You need to get onto an online platform. I think what we need to also realize is that...
Wait, before you go, what is an online platform for you now? Give me context. What are we talking about? Social media
so platforms
LinkedIn,
such
Facebook,
as
TikTok.
That's it. Instagram.
Okay. And where do you go?
So I think there's a platform for each different business or different person. So, if you break down the platforms, LinkedIn is obviously from a business to business perspective. Not only is it a platform where you can find work opportunities, but as a headhunter, I actually wrote a whole sales course about how you can use the headhunting statistics and techniques on LinkedIn, but to actually find customers. Wow. So yes, so there's so much about LinkedIn that we don't actually know. So LinkedIn is definitely business to business, or if you're in the job market, it's probably the best place to position yourself. Okay. Where Facebook is for an older generation. So yes, I know, even I am an older generation, but Facebook is trusted by an older generation, where Instagram is more for the younger generation. You'll find them more floating on Instagram. TikTok for me is an entertainment platform, so I can't really find yet. I'm still researching and trying to change my mind about TikTok, but I don't find TikTok a place where a business necessarily needs to be unless you're selling a product. Again, to a younger audience. And when I'm talking about products, I mean shoes and jerseys and jewelry, not, IT services of some
solution.
sort. Yes, that's not the right platform for you to be on. Twitter also is for me a personal thing. So it's a great platform if you have an opinion and you want to, express yourself, then Twitter is the right platform for you. So each of the social platforms serves its purpose. But in the olden days, we used to have the yellow pages. I mean, if you were looking for a business, you would go to the yellow pages. Now, if you're looking for a business, you go to Facebook or to social media. The sad thing about companies is that they don't update or post as consistently and regularly on these platforms as they should, because now the mindset of the consumer says, I can find the business, it has a page on Facebook, but it posted 6 months ago. Shame, this business is no longer in business. That's what it looks like for the consumer. So we go to Facebook to look for trust, whether there are reviews. So because we are purchasing more online, or if we are investing our hard-earned money into products, we're doing the research now more than ever. And social media has made it easier for us to do this research. And that's why we are going to platforms such as Facebook, Instagram. But I also believe that people are not reading the newspaper anymore. They are reading LinkedIn articles. So there is where you need to be if you want to speak about your business and want to set yourself forward as a professional or somebody that is an expert in your field. You write an article on LinkedIn. That's how we do it these days. So it's not going to go back. So yes, we're now back to South Africa not wearing masks, but the world is changing digitally, and that's where we need to be. And if we don't do this now, we are not going to be able to understand what our children are doing online. So as a mom, for me, it's incredibly important that I know how the world is changing and how it's evolving, so that I can be a support for my children and, not be that parent when I'm 60 asking them to show me how to use the internet. So we have to start
Dude,
today.
it's going to happen. It's going to happen, but that's okay. How aligned does this brand have to be to your actual business?
Sorry, just repeat that question.
How aligned does the brand have to be to the actual business?
So branding is incredibly important for me when it comes to your business, because people eat with their eyes. So if your brand is so if your brand doesn't look good, it also feels that it's not going to give you a good service. So your brand has to look consistent over all of the platforms. And it's much easier to create that kind of brand consistency nowadays than it used to be all of those times ago, because again, we are so spoiled to have a generation where we can Google or YouTube how to make a logo. There are free platforms that you can use to create content for your site. So it doesn't cost money. You can do it for free. Wow. But it is incredibly important. And again, because the mindsets of businesses are operational, they don't look at these elements about what does your brand look like to the consumer.
Wow. So what's a starter kit for an online presence and a business in your mind, Madelein?
So the best platform to use, which is mostly free, you can do many free things on it, is a platform called canva.com.
Okay.
So canva.com. So this platform has got the graphic outlines for you to create anything from a business card to a logo to social media content. And it is mostly for free. There are other platforms that you can use to create websites for free as well, such as Wix.com. So but those, if I had to choose one that you can do everything on it, it's definitely Canva.
You love Canva. Hey, you speak about it and you start to get excited about what you can do there.
Yeah, I think when you evolve and you're looking for something that is a bit more professional and you want to use a graphic designer, sure, then we look at the Adobe Photoshops and, which is the ones I design in for my clients. But as a small business and you want to start, then Canva is good enough.
And what's your toolbox? What's the secret that gives you the X factors, Madelein, wherever you go? What are your top 3 apps that you use?
So I believe that what we lack in knowledge, we can gain in skill. So we spend a lot of time on social media looking at different videos and reels and wonder, how do they make this? How do they do that? I'm very determined that we should be learning a new skill at least once a month. And these are the kind of, yes, absolutely.
What?
Once a month.
Come on.
Once a month, we need to learn a new skill. So skills that I have learned lately is to make use of social media, but also understanding how all of the tools that social media has. So let's break it down into Instagram, for instance, right? To understand the platform of Instagram and the algorithm, you need to make use of all of the elements that Instagram offers. This is creating a story, a post, a video, a reel, and going live. Now, if you take all of those 5 different platforms to create a brand that is on all those elements, you're going to have to understand all of those elements. So Reels on Instagram is one, it's like TikTok, but it's in Instagram, is probably one of the fastest growing platforms that you can get your brand out there. It's magical. It is incredible. If you have only 100 people following you on Instagram, but you're posting a reel, you could get up to 3,000 to 4,000 people watching your brand and seeing your content on Instagram. So really just going onto YouTube and understanding what it means, what reels are, but then there are so many different apps that you can use on your phone other than your camera to create good content. So you can go and develop skills about how you can create your brand through reels on Instagram.
So I'm sorry to cut you off there. Most of our audience are LinkedIn members. So what are we doing wrong on LinkedIn? So
I don't think you can do anything wrong on LinkedIn. I think we need to say that what you're doing is enough.
Okay.
But consistency is key. I mean, you have to make, again, use of all of the different elements that LinkedIn has to offer. So on LinkedIn Mobile, there are now stories. So you don't always have to post something on your actual page on LinkedIn. You can share thoughts and things on your stories as well, which is available on the mobile. Then posting articles on LinkedIn is really, really important. This is really a platform that is growing. LinkedIn articles are really, really growing quite well. And connecting, I think just trying to grow your connections by connecting with other people as well. Sometimes we look at connections that we receive on LinkedIn, for instance, and you'll see maybe this is an investment person. He wants to sell you Bitcoin. So you always look at that connection and you think, I don't want to be connected with this guy. But what we forget on LinkedIn is that you have to be connected as a first degree to be able to reach a second or a third degree connection. So if you're not connected with the guy selling Bitcoin, you might not be able to connect with your next potential customer because this person is a mutual connection.
Man, Madelein, there's wisdom there, man. Gee whiz, that's very, very, wow. Now, you've taken me off trail here. I was going to ask you now, where do you stay ahead of the trend? What's your go-to podcast or book or speaker that you go to? And then coupled onto that, who's your mentor or your person?
My person. Okay, so to stay connected, I follow a lot of different podcasts and I listen to a lot of things, but that is also in line with skills development. So as I said, we have to develop, so we have to develop a new skill once a month, whether it's social media, whether it's financial, it depends on where you are and what you want to do for your business, how you want to evolve and get your business to the top. So a lot of what I know is from spending the time to learn it. With regards to where I go, who is my mentor? Sure. That's a really tough one because I'm a very positive person. So I believe that we need to stay positive within our minds and, that what we tell ourselves, so shall we be. So, I like to fill up my mind with positive thinking, forward thinking. So I do listen to a lot of Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is probably my person. I find his tools on network marketing very fascinating, and how he's grown and just showed the normal person that you can have a job, but you can also create a side hustle and do anything. So when I speak to the youth about entrepreneurship, I say, even though you might be unemployed right now and you're looking for a job, you have a cell phone, you can create content for your hairdresser down the street, go and take a few videos while they are cutting hair, put it together in a video app and sell it back to them for 50 Rand a post. So, you can have a side hustle, and it doesn't matter what you do on your day-to-day job. It is just if you are determined to better yourself and design your life, because we can absolutely design the lives that we want. We are not limited by a day job.
So, Madelein, what do you think clients are looking? What are they looking for from you, and how do you enable this from technology? Because you've just gone from business owner, creative, into just dropping some wisdom there that just made me feel good. What do they want from you?
So I think what my clients want from me is honesty. Again, going back to some of the agencies specifically that I have worked with in the past, is that we are so eager to sell them our services, but we hardly ever take the time to sit and evaluate what are their actual needs. We don't do a proper needs analysis with our clients anymore. So what I do is I go in and I do a proper needs analysis. If you phone me and you say, Mads, I'm looking for a receptionist, I want to understand, what are you looking to fill in your company? Because you might think that this is a receptionist, but it might actually be an administrative person that can help in other departments and answer the phone at the same time. So we really need to look at what is the needs of our clients. And then from those needs, go and see how can I, and if I can't, where can I take them to get to that point? And if I can't help them, can I learn the skill to help them do what they need to have done? And that's how.
You've spoken about this learning a skill. That's a real challenge for me. That's a real challenge. And I think that, if I take away one thing from our discussion here, is we should be expecting more from ourselves. We should be expecting to raise the bar again and again and again. If you had a billboard across the N1, what would it say to South Africa today?
Sure. If I had a billboard, that everything that we have is already inside of us. We have everything we need to get out of every situation that we are on. Everything we have and everything we need is already inside of us. We just have to tap in there and find it. From strength to knowledge to wisdom to persistence, everything we have, everything we need, we have.
That's so lovely. I like that, Madelein. It's still not where I'm finishing, because I've got a couple of questions for you. If you had to take your industry role model to dinner, where would you take them? Who would it be? And then lastly, what would you serve them?
Okay, so my industry role model. Okay, so all right. So my business role model is Margaret Hirsch. I think that she is just
a story.
Absolutely
what
phenomenal.
A story.
Yeah. I've been lucky enough to meet her, so I find her incredibly inspiring. She was on one of the episodes on The Chair, one of the shows that I host on SABC1, and just the culture that she has created within her business is just absolutely phenomenal. Where I would take her is Shirley's.
Why didn't I even suggest that for you? Okay. And what would you serve her? What would you give her?
So I would Shirley's is a restaurant that it's an aeroplane returning into a restaurant in Benoni. It's another hat I wear. And there we are going to dine around the world. So I would definitely invite her for a 10-course dine around the world and really just seeing her or having her experience how South Africa looks at different countries around the world through the cuisine, and that you don't have to go anywhere when you can find everything in our beautiful country.
Stunning. If anyone's listening and can get this podcast to Mrs. Hirsch, the invite's there, Madelein. As long as I'm with you, that'll be perfect. That'll be amazing.
It'll be a feast.
As we're coming to the end of this time, I know there's a lot of people out there that are looking for jobs. If you had to give them 3 points to get them through that interview, so what would the 3 things be that you want to leave for them today?
So a lot happens before you can get to an interview, and so I want to just quickly touch on your resume. Your resume is the most important document you will ever create in your life. And what we forget is that your resume is not a document that you are only going to apply for jobs, but it's also a document where you can see how far you have come. When you add skills to your resume and when you add new jobs and when you put those job descriptions down, hope that you see what you have learned in that position and that it's not just a document. It's a very important document, so do it yourself.
So it's a point of reflection that you can look back and see where you've come from and then where do you want to go. I like that.
When we get to interviews, if I have to leave 3 thoughts, always be early, 20 minutes early. Do not sit in the reception and be on your phone. Really look around, absorb, have a look at the people that are around you. Listen to the receptionist. How does she answer the phone? Because that gives you an idea of the kind of respect that she has for the business. What are the values? What are people wearing? There's so much that you can see about this company where you want to work for in 20 minutes from sitting in the reception.
Sure.
Be early, 20 minutes early. Second is you dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Please, you overdress for that job every single time because that is what we are looking at when we interview. And then the third is definitely research the company that you are applying for this job. If you're going for an interview, research the company. Have a look at the core values. What is the mission and the vision and the values of this company? You can find it on their website. Is this in line with you? Is this in line with your values? Because a lot of people ask you, but what is the culture of a company? That is where you find the culture of a company. It's on their website, in their vision, in their mission, and in their value statement.
Unfortunately, I see a lot of companies where they've got it on the wall, but it's not what they walk. So it's also, that wisdom you've just said about 20 minutes early. I think there's something there that we give ourselves a chance to actually see the culture in action. And I love your idea of listening to the receptionist as a window into the soul of the company. The receptionists, the cleaning staff, the security guards, they all give us a view of what to expect. I just want to drop in my own one, which is go to the middle to senior management and look at them. And if that's the type of person you want to be, then it's a company worth going for. If you don't want to be like that, probably not the place you want to be. So as we come to the end of this, what's one question you wish I'd asked you today, Madelein?
Sure, that's a really good question. I think one question is personal branding and what it means to have a personal brand on social media. Is it important?
Go for it. Madelein, why is it important to have a personal brand and to have it on social media?
So in the recruitment space, everybody wonders, does your new potential employer go and have a look at who you are in social media? And the answer is yes, they absolutely 100% do.
So that drunken party on Friday, don't put it on Facebook, dude. Yeah,
exactly. So, I mean, the social media is incredibly powerful, and if we can use it to change and make positive changes, just think about, what would you think if you had to hop onto your social media, Facebook page or your Instagram? What are you going to see? What is your potential employer going to see? Because yes, it does matter. If you are sharing content on Facebook that somebody else posted, when you share it, just because you didn't post it doesn't mean that that's not what it's just as good as you posting that content.
Absolutely.
So if you're forwarding content about racism or homosexuality or masks for our government, that gives us an insight about where do you stand on this topic without you even opening your mouth. So super important.
That is a brilliant one. That, you know, I say when I speak to kids, when I speak to schools and whatever, that it's as if you've got a billboard on the N1 and it's updating all the time. Everybody can see it, guys. Everyone is watching. Madelein, it's been amazing to speak to you. I have got so many different things. I've got pages of notes here. So thank you for an energizing way to spend my Friday. I hope it's wonderful for you. I hope you just go from strength to strength. Give us your web address again so people can get hold of you, and then I'm going to let you go.
Amazing. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. So for those who are inspiring to change their careers, I've also launched a new podcast yesterday. It's called The Career Club. That's it. So you can follow it on Instagram, careerclub.podcast. So here we are going to literally break down the resume, culture, everything that you need to know about entrepreneurship and personal branding as well. But you can also find it on my website, which is www.madeleinhendricks.co.za.
Madelein, I can't wait to come and talk to your guests about the difference between a career and a project and where young people are. And again, from our side, from Rocket, just thank you for giving us a little bit of time. I hope you have an amazing Friday as it goes forward. And remember, folks, life rocks if you let it. And life rocks if you're on the right career path, the right job path. Speak to Madelein and the team, and perhaps it could be the biggest decision of your life. From me, Daniel Robus, I am going to sign you off. Have a wonderful day.